Hello, I'm Georgia Shakti-Hill, and I want to welcome you to Mount Shasta. We are on an adventure for the spirit, and could there be a better place? Look at this majesty, the magnificence behind me. It is a magical mountain. There is mystery to it. There is a mystique. The mystics have come. The prophets have been here. We talk of ancient civilizations. We talk about even UFOs and aliens, but basically what we're talking about here is a very special place where you can have an adventure for the spirit, where heaven and earth meet, Mount Shasta. Come join us. On this journey to one of the power places on the planet, we will drink from the sacred waters. We'll get grounded through body work. We'll have our ears candled. We'll soak in the Native Americans' mineral waters. We'll tone atop the mountain. We'll chant and join in the healing circle. We'll be a revolving door in Aikido. We'll adjust our yoga warrior poses. We'll receive acupuncture for jet lag and general well-being. We'll have our aura and chakras read. We'll be advised through a tarot reading. We'll meet some of the fascinating local visionary artists and authors. We'll find some nature spirits. We'll identify and eat some edible plants. And we'll walk the holy labyrinth at the foot of Mount Shasta. This is not your ordinary vacation. This is an adventure for the spirit. The city of Mount Shasta has a population of less than 4,000, one-third of whom are proud to be called New Age. This tiny town is in Northern California, just 60 miles south of the Oregon border and about a 3-hour drive north of Sacramento. It is an old logging area, and a train still goes by 26 times every 24 hours. But it is not the lumber that draws the seekers to Mount Shasta. It is spiritual growth and healing. It was the gold in the rushing streams and rivers that brought non-Indians to the area in 1851. It was the beaver pelts that lured the first Europeans to these ancient forests in the 1820s. Legends and lore, myths and mystics attract the spiritual pilgrims today. Can the mysteries of Mount Shasta be revealed to the average traveler? Some say she guards her secrets well behind those clouds. Let's see. Since the early 1930s, Mount Shasta has been recognized as one of the 7 sacred mountains of the world, along with Ararat, Fuji, Kalai, Everest, Sinai, and the San Francisco Peaks in Arizona. To believers, the mountain is a sacred space, a holy place, and a portal to a powerful vortex of energy. Spiritual seekers come here hoping to commune with an ascended master. They actually believe the masters reside within the mountain. It was in 1930 that Guy Ballard was hiking in Northern California and met the ascended master, Saint Germain, on the side of Mount Shasta. Ballard shared the teachings he received and founded the I Am Temple and Reading Room in the middle of the city. There is a worldwide network of followers of Saint Germain, and he is accepted as the patron saint of Mount Shasta. Through meditation, many visit him and other masters in the mountain, which is referred to as one of the cities of light. In 1935, while driving through the area, James Hilton was inspired by Mount Shasta to write of Shangri-La in his classic, The Lost Horizon. So average travelers, sit quietly and wait and pay attention to your dreams while you visit Mount Shasta. You don't know where you may go in meditation or in your dream time. If you are open, it is possible you too can have a transforming experience. Legend tells you to begin your journey at the headwaters of the Sacramento River. The wise ones say the water is sacred, and if you drink from the source, you will attune to the essence of the mountain and perhaps become profoundly insightful and aware. Right here is where the water comes down from 14,000 feet through Mount Shasta and comes out with the essence of Mount Shasta. So as you drink from the water, you actually get a taste of Mount Shasta, and you are connected, and it can really enhance your adventure for the spirit. If you are ready, you may meet with an ascended master, or perhaps a local Native American. Custom is to connect with someone from a local tribe to pay respects and ask for permission or a blessing to enjoy their land. We were fortunate to meet Jack Tom at the Sacramento River headwaters, and we asked him about this power place, this vortex of energy and its sacredness. You are of which tribe?
Karuk, from the Klamath River. And we've been, in our tribe, what we do is when we go sit on the mountain, like we go up there on a vision quest, is we look toward the top of Mount Shasta, because that's where the Creator comes down to. And so that's what we believe. And so we don't go to the top. You know, we only go halfway up to the tree line, and that's it. So we kind of stay away from the top of it, and because that's a sacred place, so we don't go there.
Well, people are drawn from all over the world to Mount Shasta, and I think they always have been. And you, though, were the ones, it was the Native people who first understood its power, and it's because the Creator rests there.
Yeah, it comes down and rests on top of the mountain.
Well, we're here at the headwaters of the Sacramento River, and this is where the water comes from the mountain. So I know that the Native people always appreciate all the land as being sacred, but this is a very special spot then here too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it's like pure water.
Yeah.
You know, pure. There's no chemicals, and that's the best part about it. 'Cause, you know, you don't find any water like this anymore. Right here where we're sitting at is sacred ground. On the mountain is sacred ground, and that's the most sacred place, you know, for the Native Americans is that we all respect that place. You know.
Part of the Native American spirituality includes the universal symbols. All of nature has significance. When you see a bird in the heavens, it is not just a bird flying by. It is a message from Great Spirit. Each rock has a story, and if you take a few minutes and listen, you may learn something of importance. If you see two swans gliding across a pond, take the time to reflect. Swans represent your intuition and your inner knowing. You are reminded to look within and go with the flow of your life. If you catch just a glimpse of the deer on the roadside, it is a teacher of gentleness according to Native American medicine. Watch for that bird. It might be the messenger confirming that what you are doing is in line with spirit. And we'll be right back with more of an adventure for the spirit in Mount Shasta. We traveled south to Dunsmuir to Mary Mama Christ's World Peace Garden, where I placed a crystal that I had infused with my prayer for peace on the planet. Her garden is beautiful and enchanted with fairies and devas and angels.
What Mother Mary has asked that people would bring a crystal and that you would charge it with your heart and put a prayer for world peace, maybe even a vision of world peace, what you'd like to see happen, and then just leave it with Mother Mary.
And many people have done that.
Many have done that.
From all over the world.
Yes. And so I know someday we'll have piles of things here.
A day at the beach in Mount Shasta takes you to Lake Siskiyou. The majestic mountain overlooks the waters from 14,162 feet. The lake is man-made and created for swimmers, boaters, and fishermen. Still others turn their sights on golfing, with spectacular mountain vistas and deep blue crystal clear alpine lakes. Mount Shasta's golf course is dramatic and challenging. The views from the greens of clear azure skies and pristine wilderness are breathtaking. If golf is not your game and you would simply love to nestle in at 5,000 feet up the mountain, come join us at Danielle's retreat. You may revel in the awesome splendor of her panoramic views. I've come to a special retreat, and out of respect, you enter with first taking your shoes off, and we're going to talk to Danielle Light.
Welcome, Georgia.
Oh,
Come
thank
on
you.
in.
Where are we?
We're at Shasta Spirit Retreat.
Let's do it. Come on, come in with us. Step inside the private sanctuary where students gather under the dome and pause a moment to gaze upon and appreciate the incredible wonders of nature. Danielle strikes the gong to bring you to the moment.
This bell is used just to remind people to come into the present moment. So whenever we hear the sound of the bell, we just take a moment to breathe and come back to here and now.
Okay, let's do it. And I'm looking at Mount Shasta as we do it. Don't I love it? You're going to show me a cabin.
Yes.
Let's do that. That's our next adventure.
Okay.
This way?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Danielle has brought us to the Playhouse. Who says that there isn't romance in Mount Shasta? This is kind of a nice little getaway for two. Come peek inside, it's real cute. The legends tell of lenticular clouds in the shapes of spaceships. Local philosophers, teachers, and mystics share their stories and perspectives on the lenticular clouds. It is said they are the cover for spaceships from other dimensions. Some say the ships bring the descendants of ancient Lemurians who traveled between Mount Shasta and the South Sea Islands. Mount Shasta was once a part of the lost continent of Lemuria. Other residents watch closely as U.S. military jets leave their airstreams across the skies. Perhaps they are checking up on ET. We decided to find out more about the Lemurians and the legends of this mountain, this sacred site. Peter, whose last name is Mount Shasta, explained.
Some people come here and they just see a sleepy little town, an old logging town, and other people come here and they see the beautiful nature, and then other people come here and they see temples on the mountain and they have experiences with masters.
Whatever we're ready for, then perhaps we may receive.
That's true. And many people have experiences of Mount Shasta without even being here. Some people may live in New York City and have dreams of coming to Mount Shasta, being taken inside the mountain by the masters, and they come here 20 years later and they realize this is where they've been. And in fact, there are many Tibetan lamas that are coming here these days, and they say some of their deities that used to be in the Himalayas have moved to the Mount Shasta area and are working out of this as a spiritual focus.
I've heard it called the New Shangri-La.
That is true, or Shambhala.
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 To truly feel Mount Shasta, you must walk the land. There is no better guide to nature than Tim Corcoran. People who know Tim call him Bear.
Well, I'm Bear, and real simply put, I have a behavior like a bear.
I had asked Bear if he would do his bear dance and chant and drum for us.
I'm a human bear. I have a temperament like a bear, you know. I can get really angry really quick and be really into it, and then it's completely gone. It's just how bears are. And I believe that all people have an animal that they specifically relate to from nature, that when they discover it, what it is, it will bring them closer to nature and closer to their true self.
His Headwaters Outdoor School offers rites of passage retreats for young boys and girls ready to create a code of honor that will take them into adulthood. Bear teaches survival and harmony with nature.
Plant, you can just eat the whole thing. It's just as good as a wild edible gets.
He showed me 2 edible plants, miner's lettuce and the wonderfully diverse elderberry. We walked with the deva of the woods and talked of nature spirits. He loves Mount Shasta and explains part of her mystery.
Well, Mount Shasta itself is a very intensely powerful mountain. Like when we sometimes have our winter class up on Mount Shasta, we dig and live in snow caves. And we're actually like we're in the mountain, and I cannot sleep at all. And when I do sleep, it's the most vivid dreams I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And everybody else in our classes has that similar experience. It's a very high mountain, and it's high in that there's no other mountain close to its height around the general area. So from any distance, almost 200 miles, you see the mountain. Whereas a lot of times high mountains have many other mountains near them, and you can hardly pick the mountain out. Well, Mount Shasta literally just overwhelms and looks at the 200-mile radius around its base in all directions.
Yeah.
And so it's very powerful that way. There's also what I like to say with anything in nature, there's a certain mystery. People come to this mountain because it calls them. And it's something that you feel more than anything else. You feel it in your body. It's almost like a magnet. It just pulls you here. From the days of John Muir to the old days when the Indian people lived here and they used to go to the top of the mountain, to everybody else you can imagine comes here. And the truth is, that's part of what we call the great mystery.
Yes.
It just is powerful,
Yes.
and it pulls us, and we don't have an explanation for it all the time.
And
but it
that's
just
good.
is.
That is
Yeah.
natural. Bear has created a magnificent labyrinth in the shadow of Mount Shasta. It is a profound experience to walk this hallowed ground. It is absolutely beautiful here. And as I look up, I can see Mount Shasta. And I do feel the energy in the experience that I've had here. It has really been an adventure for the spirit. Evening draws near and we return to the spot where our journey had begun earlier in the day. As the sun is setting, it casts its brilliant light upon the mountain. Its immense grandeur beckons us to come and be transformed as so many visitors have been. Is there a message from the mountain? Can you hear her? Does she call to you? What are her secrets? Why is she called California's mystic mountain? How will she reveal herself? With a taste of the water as you walk the land? Will it be through her people, or should you just stand in quiet solitude and meditate? Might she just remain hidden and not unveil her mysteries and secrets? And we'll be right back with more of an adventure for the spirit in Mount Shasta. Next, it is recommended that you have some body work done when you arrive at a new destination to get grounded to the new environment. One of the most famous body workers in the world, Joseph Heller, has chosen Mount Shasta as his home, and he can realign your body in an hour. So when I walk through this door, I'm going to have an integrated system of structural body work done by Joseph Heller work. But I have to do this in my underwear, so you don't get to come in. Hi, Joseph. See you in a little bit. And on the other side, I'll walk out that door and I'll be realigned. Thank you. However, here are a bunch of people in their underwear who are not so shy as I. They are receiving Heller work from practitioners Joseph has trained in this body work of deep tissue massage.
We work on those soft tissues of the body to stretch them, to loosen them, to make them more flexible, more fluid, and to restore the body that we're working with to a better alignment with gravity.
I'm back and I'm better. I have been realigned, and if you'll notice, I look structurally more like my friend here. I have learned two things in this that I can carry over in my day-to-day life, and there are things that you can do too. And I want to show you how you can improve your structure with two techniques.
In order to have your pelvis be level, you need to have your knees a little lower than your hip joints, the way we're sitting right now.
All right. And I should be sitting on my sitting bones.
That's correct.
So basically just knees lower than sitting bones, that works.
That's right.
Okay. There's one more technique that we can follow through and share with our audience too.
Absolutely.
How
Stand
I
up.
should walk? Okay.
Most people tend to lead from their abdomen
Yeah.
when they walk. And instead of that, I'd like to have you lead from your heart.
Okay, and that's really just expanding, because that was part of this inspiration, which was our first lesson. Expand the chest and lead with your heart. I love that. Okay, I'm just going to walk properly then, leading with my heart. Renowned environmentalist John Muir once said of Mount Shasta, "When I first saw it, all my blood turned to wine." Contemporary travelers to Mount Shasta are still in search of its wonder and beauty. My journey took me downtown. I found the Healing Arts Center, where they offer all modalities of healing, ancient and modern, Eastern and Western. So I walked into the Healing Arts Center here in Mount Shasta, and I thought I will get to see an Aikido demonstration. Wonderful, never done it. And Stuart Gordon and Ann Gordon are going to do it for me. But they said I got to be involved in the end in the revolving door part. We'll see.
Thank you, Georgia. We're going to show you how we incorporate the principles of Aikido into our Blending with Life retreats. fight, I dig in my heels, or I could do it effortlessly. I get off the line, take her down the ground and end the conflict. Notice that she's able to get up. She hasn't been severely injured. So we both walk away winners. We wanted you to join us for one more technique. It's called revolving door.
I don't want to do Anne's part.
You don't want to do that.
Thank you.
You will not have to kiss the ground. as we say.
Okay.
You'll be able to do this in total standing position. Now we're going to have you come into the center of the mat a little bit more. And the idea is Anna's going to be pushing you on one shoulder or the other. Your eyes will be closed, your knees will be bent, and your focus will be on a point of light just below your belly button, just below your navel. So Anne's going to be pushing you on one shoulder or the other. Your job is to become a revolving door, to turn out of the way rather than resist the pressure. Okay? Doing a fine job in blending with this. Tension leads to resistance. Stress leads to resistance. Very nice. Okay, thank you. Excellent job. You passed.
Thank you. But you know, I think I'll slow down a little bit and do some yoga with Dr. Nathan Sivananda. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so pleased that you're going to give me personal instruction. And we're going to start with mountain pose.
Yes.
How perfect for Mount Shasta.
Step right over here.
Now this looks to people like you're just standing here, but there's action going on, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of action going on, but it's all on the inside. So we'll start out by bringing your feet together, Georgia. And the idea of mountain pose is to stand with as little effort as possible. So feel the balance of the weight coming down right in front of your heels so that your lower body becomes relaxed, your thighs are relaxed, hips, low back are relaxed. And now bring your awareness into your chest area, lift your heart a little bit higher, bring your head back so your neck is in good alignment and your head is balanced right on top of the spine where it belongs. Relax your arms and shoulders. Good. You're well centered and grounded. Now let's try bringing palms together right over the heart. So now we have the structural alignment, good spinal alignment, and now we'll turn to the breath. Taking a deep breath in through the belly, your abdomen expands. As you exhale, your abdomen goes back in. So the structural alignment balances the physical body. The breath will quiet and calm the emotions, bringing more peace of mind and stress reduction. And finally, the awareness of all that and bringing the awareness into the spine where the life force flows will help to bring you into a more spiritual centered state. There's mountain pose. And we'll go to the warrior number 2 variation, stepping back with your left foot, turning the hips slightly sideways this time. That's right. Keeping your knee over your foot so we don't strain the inner knee. Inhaling, lift your arms. Good. And turn to look out over the fingertips. This will build a lot of lower body strength. You feel it in the thigh?
Yes. Yeah.
And also this will build upper body strength. Okay. Tune into the breath again.
And it's always so interesting. Yoga looks like you're not doing anything, and you really are.
Well, that's right. And when you're really doing it, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything either. I mean, when you really have it perfected, it's totally easy. So this is the warrior number 2. Okay, and inhaling, straighten your front leg, and come back to the mountain pose. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
All right.
And we'll be right back with more of an adventure for the spirit in Mount Shasta. An adventure for the spirit in Mount Shasta continues as we look to the east to the ancient art of acupuncture. We can relieve the tensions of traveling and with proper placement of the needles allow the energy to flow and create a general feeling of well-being.
I'm going to be using several points on your hands and your upper arms as well as behind your neck to relieve stress that's sort of accumulated back in here from your work and from your travel as well as through this part of your head. Acupuncture is at least 2,000 years old. It started in China and it's developed quite a bit over the years. We're using the meridian system. It's a Chinese theory of how energy flows through the body in meridians, over 360 points. Breathe in and breathe out. And each point has 3 to 4 different functions.
You're good. That didn't hurt either.
Thank you. And breathe in and breathe out. Good. Okay, how are you doing?
Great.
Okay, are you feeling well?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take out the needles and put them into the disposal container, and then you'll be on your way to another modality, right?
Carolito is as modern in her healing techniques as she is ancient. With a computer and special program, she was able to read my aura, which was aglow at this point in the adventure. Then the computer analyzed my chakras. I was truly coming into balance.
We'll start down at the bottom, down here under your feet, and that has to do with where you are. And it's a light green, it's a beautiful green. It has to do with you caring and you giving of yourself to others. So you seem to be in
I
the
wanted
right
to be
place. Then right above that is an orange, and that has to do with how you are in your life and how you're moving forward. And the orange has to do with creativity. So once again, you're quite right on.
Okay.
We come up on the sides here, and that's your general energy field, and that's a yellow color, and that indicates that you're quite comfortable processing things mentally as well, using logic and so
yes.
on.
Mind, body, spirit.
Yes. And right down here, the lines on each side have to do with the spine's energy, and of course the spine goes down through the center of us. And the color we have here is, once again, a beautiful green, having to do with compassion, being generous, and giving and caring.
Oh, I'm doing okay so far, aren't I?
You are. Very well.
While we were at the center, we met local magazine publisher Dawn, and more fun began. She directed us to the Golden Bough for a tarot reading with Jessie. You came very highly recommended. I have not had a reading in tarot for years and years and years, but I trust your energy. That's how I guess I should say it.
And you brought in with you into this lifetime the dynamic of success. And so with this is good as a woman because it's important for you to empower others along the same line, okay?
Yes.
So your self-empowerment helps to empower other women because it gives them
I've always felt that,
you know, some sort of a story. Coming up to this mountain is very important for you, not just professionally. And I think that what's going to happen from this visit here is that you're going to get very clear about something else that you want in your life, perhaps more clear about your visions and your goals in terms of the next step. Because there's always a next step for us.
Well, Jessie, thank you. Yes. Absolutely. That was on fast speed.
Yes.
We had another adventure for the spirit. We really did. Thank you, Jessie.
Okay, thank you so much, Shakti. Thanks for coming in.
Yes. If you'd like additional insights into your future, there are many highly respected channels in the area. Claire Hartsong and Mary Ma are two. We returned to Dunsmuir to meet with Mary Ma and her kitten and ask about this concept of ascension that so many in Mount Shasta have mentioned.
And what is the ascension? The ascension is the lifting of humanity into a higher state of consciousness. Years ago, like 20 years ago, ascension meant leaving the planet, attaining full mastery, right? I'm sure you've spoken that to your people. And then leaving the planet and coming back as a famous master like Saint Germain or Jesus or Kuan Yin. Today it doesn't mean that. It means mastering the physical, mastering ourselves, and going through all the tests really that Christ went through. And then going through it, shifting in the consciousness, and there's levels of ascension, and then staying to serve the planet in many, many different ways.
And that's wonderful.
Like what you're doing.
Thank you. We do want to serve well. And then we met Channel Claire at the Josephine Taylor Foundation.
And we welcome now the presence of those of the realms of light, the beloved ascended masters, particularly the essence of Saint Germain, who is so closely connected with the mountain that we call Shasta, and the energies of the Divine Mother presence. The Mother's love is like a tidal wave that is coming forth from the cosmos and is swelling like a great wave about to carry humanity and this beloved planet into a far, far greater expression that has ever been known here. So, beloved, do you have a query or ways in which I can assist you in the flow of your life?
Actually, if I were just to ask you, I just want the adventure for the spirit to be shared all over the planet.
So be it. It is a time of huge adventure, and it is a blessing that we have met.
While at the foundation, we ask about Josephine Taylor. She is known as one of Mount Shasta's modern mystics. She died in 1995 at the age of 108. Her followers believe she lives on and her energy remains available for those who seek empowerment, activation, and initiation. Her foundation sits in the shadow of the mountain. There on a wall is a painting of the circle of life that is said to be the portal through which you can enter Mount Shasta. Just focus, concentrate, and have intention. Josephine taught through the medium of automatic or directed writing. At the center, Sandy gave me instructions in the technique.
Well, the first thing you do is you take a deep breath and you relax, because this is all taken care of by spirit. And usually I like to sit with the energy a little while so that they can clear the channels, because we have a lot of blocked ego energy in here and a lot of blocked expectations. So just allow it to clear. Is trust what you receive.
Oh, it's that trust again. Always supposed to be trusting.
Yes, because
Okay.
our mind will say that makes no sense.
Our next adventure may be in Sedona, Arizona, with joy and flight and peace, and let's go.
Right.
And we'll be right back with more of an adventure for the spirit in Mount Shasta. The last experience we have planned for today in our Adventures for the Spirit in Mount Shasta is to come to the Stewart Mineral Springs, and we are welcome. We are going to have the experience of the healing waters, mineral sulfur waters. We'll take the bath and we will be healed. But also before that, we're going to have an ear candling. Now that's an experience where they light some fire and it does wonderful things for your ear. Let's go do it. Continuing the body work with ear candling after a long flight and drive is wise and exciting.
Well, the woman who taught me learned from her grandmother who taught her grandmother.
Ah.
And she did Reiki. She was a Reiki master and acupressure. So she combined them all.
Oh, wonderful.
A lot of the clients that I have, not only for cleaning purposes, but for sinus, dizziness, and even clarity.
Ah, wonderful. I could use clarity.
And these candles that I use are done by 3 generations. It's been handed down by the 3 generations of family to hand do these candles.
Now, are we done? Have we just done?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now, I wasn't watching what happened, so the candle just gets lower and lower and lower. All right. Should I have been scared? Now, a soak in the mineral bath. For centuries, the Native American medicine men have prescribed these sacred springs to heal mind, body, and spirit. This is holy water coming up from Earth Mother to heal you. The people of Mount Shasta continued to welcome us with open arms.
You guys, this is Georgia Shakti-Hill, and she has also written a metaphysical book called Sharing the Light.
Psychic Nancy Marie took us to the top of the mountain. She teaches a technique to develop your intuition through toning. You may want to tone along with us.
You want to have your throat relaxed.
Okay.
And you want to just let the sound float out on your exhalation. So
Okay.
you're going to inhale in through your nose, and as you exhale, instead of it just being air, you're going to float the sound out on your breath.
And we're doing it right in front of Mount Shasta.
Right.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Inhale. And down to the pelvis.
Wonderful, thank you.
Now make sure whenever you do this that you always end with a low sound.
Yes, that's like closure.
It's a closure. It's like the amen.
Two other forms of vibrational healing comes from a color therapy and a crystal bowl meditation. Cheusa Sin Wind begins with healing through color just simply by looking at these beautiful bottles and selecting ones you attune to and the ones that you dislike most. Then the crystal bowl experience begins. First, Cheusa tucks you in all comfy in her lovely loft.
It's tucked in.
Get you all tucked in.
Her directives are do nothing and then rest. She vibrates these gorgeous bowls and the healing begins.
Allow the waves of thought and emotion to flow through you. Freely receive the language of your soul from the subtle realms of your essence. Awaken, O beautiful one, and behold the beauty of this, your new creation.
Cheusa has had her bowls for 7 years. Their origin is absolutely fascinating. They are made of quartz crystal.
And they're actually made for the computer industry.
Ah.
And they do this magic process, a secret process that they don't like to share with people, of using these as like the oven, and they heat them up to thousands of degrees, and inside they call growing the crystal that they cut the silicon chips from.
Ah. Oh, I never knew
Yes.
that.
So I think probably what happened, somebody worked in the business and walked by one day and tapped it and went, whoa,
Whoa.
that's nice.
I feel better.
That's right.
And we'll be right back with more of an adventure for the spirit in Mount Shasta. As our adventure in Mount Shasta continues, we complete our experience of the crystal bowls with the tea ceremony. Now the body is attuned, relaxed, energized, and in balance.
This is my version of the Japanese tea ceremony. Part of the beautifulness of that ceremony is that when you invite someone into your home, it should be memorable. So I welcome you into my home.
We concluded our adventure in Mount Shasta at the home of Eric Berglund, world-famous harpist and tenor, for a community gathering of music and healing. Eric travels the planet with his harp. People from Venezuela to Germany have been healed physically and emotionally by just listening to his music. Eric joins other local musicians who are nationally renowned for their musical talent. It is these artists that exemplify the Mount Shasta community spirit of love and support for each other. All members of the spiritual community aspire to create just such a harmonious and loving example. We are here in Mount Shasta with family and friends, and we have joined together in a healing circle. We will be sharing the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Seated in the healing circle is artist Mary St. Marie. She is one of the elders of the spiritual community, an elder not by years but by wisdom. At her studio, she told us of a dream that nearly 30 years ago had brought her to Mount Shasta, where her art for the soul has evolved. And Mount Shasta has impacted your art in what way, would you say?
Well, first of all, I think I would say that I prayed to know where to go. So I traveled around the world for 2.5 years before I found Shasta, and then I found it in a dream. And I followed the dream, and when I got to Shasta, I went, oh my gosh,
this is my
the place
dream.
That was in the dream. and I know that that was a direct response of where am I to be next? You know, where am I to do my work? Where am I to bring forth the soul?
Another world-renowned resident of Mount Shasta is artist and gentle spirit Cheryl Rose. We were invited to her studio.
This is St. Nectan's Glen in Cornwall. It's a mile from Tintagel Castle. And if you look really close, you can see the Lady of the Lake within the circle. So I placed her here in the circle of the waterfall. And this is the healing of the Grail King. And he's holding the sword and he's in the water of healing. Because I feel this site was used as a knight's preparation for their quest.
Thank you for joining us on our personal journey for spiritual growth and healing. We hope you have enjoyed visiting one of the power places on the planet. Please join us again on our next adventure for the Spirit.